a lot of students want to speak like a native.
Mhm.
So what does that even mean to speak like a native?
When it relates to students wanting to speak like a native, so I think I have a very unique situation because I teach upper intermediate and advanced English learners. I don't teach beginners.
Mm.
When I was in Korea during my last, no, it happened early. I started recognizing that there was a missing piece for the advanced English speakers in other countries.
Mm.
Beginners, I could teach them, right? I could teach them, how to learn or memorize. I could teach them, different grammar rules or things like that. But my passion was actually in teaching people how to think and speak English.
Yeah.
I realized that I had, I guess, a gift or a talent for bringing that out of people, no matter what their background was. And the same was true actually in America. So I've never been shy up front. I've always been okay with being up front, giving speeches, giving sermons at church. And that's something that is not even connected to English. It's some people are nervous, some people aren't nervous. So those things or techniques that I use that make me so much more comfortable up front, I wanted to give them to my students. Well, I can't give those to beginners because beginners have not learned the foundation yet. So I realized my niche was actually in the upper intermediate and advanced level. And I started doing that even before my YouTube channel when I was in Korea. So to answer your question, I always had the native voice because my students wanted that. So it was like, okay, I'll just be me. I literally can just speak the way I normally speak. Granted, I didn't use as many idioms or as many slang phrases when I was in Korea because they didn't know what I was saying when I would use a multitude of idioms or slang. I used them in the right amount when I was in Korea, right? They were
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
intelligent, right? Since being back in America, though, I'm around Americans all the time. So my current students, I mean, every time we have class, every interaction, they're getting five, six, seven, eight new idioms, three,
Yeah.
four new slang terms. Why? Because I'm surrounded now by Americans. So my students are elated. They're happy. Like, yes, this is what we want. And for me, when I started my YouTube channel, I was still living in Korea. So my teacher voice was a little bit stronger, right? And it was stronger because I can teach you in a professional way in the sense of like if I go to a company, I'm going to give you 5 ways to do this. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and then breakdown. I can speak to you in that way and immediately turn off the relaxed Tiffany and turn on the professional Tiffany. That's not a problem, right? But what I noticed was after a while, I started integrating like story time. I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, like at the end of every YouTube video, I give a story about my life.
Hmm.
When I give that story, immediately, you're going to get slang. You're going to get every colloquialism, every idiom. I'm just going to speak to you like I'm speaking to you right now, Kris. That's how I speak
Yeah.
to the students. And I noticed that students loved it. This started about 3 or 4 years ago. And I've continued doing it every single video. And students tell me that's my favorite part of your videos. And it helped me realize, yes, it's important for us to teach things, but it's more important for us to teach it in our way,
Yeah.
using our personality as the main focus. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit
And
easier, I think, because my students want the native. I'm like, all right, I'll just speak to you like a native.